Play stupid games, win stupid prizes, episode 18. Well, this beautiful woman behind me was from Florida, but in Texas, and she unfortunately sees a dog down a hole about 8 foot deep and about 4 foot wide. Well, the hole doesn't just contain a dog, it also contains sewer gas. So when she jumped down to save the dog, she was overcome by the actual sewage gases and died. Then apparently, the two men that she was with jumped in to help her and save her, and they also died. Next up, we have an Arizona woman who was visiting Yellowstone National Park when she was gored by a bison. I guess they do warn in Yellowstone. I've never personally been there, not to get near the animals, but I guess she was close enough, even though she was supposedly walking away from the animal, that the animal charged her and ultimately stabbed her in multiple areas. 2 people were electrocuted after they tried to touch the third rail on the CTA Green Line over in Oak Park near Chicago. Apparently, they were headed to Lollapalooza and decided to stop to take a photograph. One of the people end up touching the rail and gets electrocuted. The other person that was down there with them tried to save them, also gets electrocuted. The police were ended up calling, ambulances called, and the other friends over there did not get electrocuted, actually ended up pulling them off of the railway. This just happened 3 days ago. One of them suffered cardiac arrest, but there's no update as to whether or not they lived. We may have all seen this video before, but if you haven't, this woman here got out of the door right here, comes around to the car to argue with her husband while on a drive-through safari filled with tigers. Well, what happens next is a tiger jumps over, grabs her, drags her back to eat her. Her husband jumps out, kind of hesitates, to be completely honest with you. Her mom, who's in the back seat, charges this thing. Unfortunately, her mom ends up dying. She ends up living. Husband ends up living. And this is what happens when you let emotions get the better of you. Well, what happens to your mom?